What does it even mean to publish a scientific journal during a war? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. This isn't just about research papers. It's about engineering, it's about science, and when you get right down to it, it's about finding hope in a time of crisis.
So, what you're looking at here is the fifth volume of the Afeka Journal of Engineering and Science. And I gotta tell you, this is not just any academic journal. The fact that it even exists is a statement. It was published in Israel right in the middle of one of the most difficult periods in its entire history.
And this just hits you right from the start. In the preface, the editors point out something pretty profound. The journal only has 9 articles, not the usual 10. And that missing 10th article? It's not a mistake. It's a deliberate, silent tribute, a symbol of a void that words just can't fill. Right away, you know this journal is carrying some serious emotional weight. Okay, so let's get into it. How does a journal like this even come to be? Well, it was published late in the shadow of the October 7th attack and during the ongoing Iron Swords War. We're talking about a period of intense national trauma. The editors actually debated not publishing it at all, and you can understand why. But in the end, they were inspired by their own community. You had students, almost half of them serving in the military, and faculty just rallying to keep things going. So they decided to publish, to move forward, really as an act of resilience. And this is the human cost behind that decision. The journal pays tribute to 6 members of the Afeka community who are lost. These were students and graduates, people who wanted to be engineers and build things for society. You can feel their loss on every page. But, this journal isn't just a memorial. It's a collection of really forward-looking research. And that brings us to the ideas inside. We're going to start with a question that honestly affects every single one of us, our relationship with technology. So a paper by Oren Bader asks this really provocative question. We use our phones for everything, right? Remembering things, finding our way around, talking to people. But where's the line? At what point does that little device in your hand stop being just a tool and actually start becoming a part of your mind? Bader's whole argument is that science has always been shaped by its surroundings. Back in ancient Egypt, religion was the driver for astronomy. In ancient Greece, democracy led to philosophy. Then, in the 17th century, you get the mechanical clock, and suddenly everyone starts seeing the universe as this giant, intricate machine. So what's our context today? He says it's our digital devices. They're literally shaping how we think about thinking. And this all leads to this core theory he's working with called the extended mind. The idea is that when you use your phone to remember a phone number or look up a fact, it's not just helping you, it's actually becoming part of a coupled system with your brain. Your mind is literally extending beyond your skull. I mean, think about that for a second. It means losing your phone isn't just an inconvenience. It's like temporarily losing a piece of your own memory. The implications are, well, they're huge. Okay, so from our minds getting bigger, the journal shifts gears to something that's on everyone's mind right now, AI. And it explores a really poignant question. Can this technology actually help us recover what's been lost? So this paper by Hisham Abdul Halim, it digs right into this. He's asking, if generative AI has the power to recreate things that society has lost forever, cultural artifacts, historical stories, maybe even personal memories, it's such a powerful and hopeful idea. Abdul Halim uses this absolutely brilliant analogy. He calls AI a digital apprentice. Think about it. It can study thousands of paintings and learn to perfectly mimic a master painter, but it never truly understands the emotion behind the brushstrokes. It's a fantastic mimic, but it's not a conscious creator. And right there, that's the core dilemma, isn't it? The promise is just incredible. We could digitally bring back lost languages or artworks, but the peril, it's just as real. Because AI learns from the data we feed it, it can end up copying all the gaps and biases in our own history books. Not to mention, it raises these super complicated questions about authenticity and ownership. I mean, who has the right to recreate a culture's heritage? Okay, so we've gone from these huge philosophical questions. Now the journal brings us right back down to earth with something super practical, using data to rethink and rebuild the public systems we all rely on every day. Gennady Biffer's paper is this fascinating case study. He analyzed a massive 20-year-long reform of Israel's entire public bus system, all to find out one simple thing. After all that change, is the service actually any better? It's the perfect small-scale example of the much bigger question of how you rebuild a society effectively. So, to get what they found, you've got to understand what things were like before 1997. Israel's bus system was basically a duopoly. Two companies controlled almost everything. The service was inefficient, fewer and fewer people were taking the bus, and traffic was just getting worse. So, the government decided it was time to open things up to competition. Now, everyone just assumed that more competition would be the magic bullet, right? But get this, here's the kicker from Bierfer's analysis. The number of new companies competing, it had no statistically significant impact on how many people rode the bus. The one thing that mattered? The frequency of the buses. When buses came more often, more people rode them. Simple as that. And the takeaway here is just huge. Rebuilding a system isn't just about shuffling the org chart or introducing competition. It's about being relentlessly focused on the quality of the service for the person actually using it. That's a lesson you can apply to pretty much any system you want to make better. Which brings us right back to where we started, engineering a new future. All these ideas about our extended minds, about creative AI, about our public systems, they're all presented in this journal as the essential tools we need for recovery. The president of the college, Professor Ami Moyal, really just nails it in his opening remarks. He says that the long road to healing and recovery is going to require the exact skills that engineers bring to the table: leadership, creativity, critical thinking, and teamwork. So you see, these papers are way more than just academic research. Understanding how our digital tools are changing our minds, learning how to use AI responsibly, and knowing how to systematically improve our public services, these are the real-world, practical tools for building a better future, especially when you have to build it out of a difficult present. And that's really the ultimate message of this whole journal. To engineer something, to design, to build, to solve a problem, is to fundamentally believe that a better future is actually possible. It is, at its core, an act of profound and necessary optimism. So in the end, this journal, a document born from crisis, it leaves all of us with a question. Whether we're talking about technology or public systems or society itself, we are all the engineers of our shared future. So the only question left is, what will we choose to create?